Welcome to part 4 of this Warhammer 40,000 battle report featuring Grey Knights versus Orcs. We're on to Orcs turn 4. I did my reserve roll for that last remaining Dacajet. Got a 6. I don't think I had to, but did it anyways. Quite happy because this is his debut, actually making it onto the table. The other Dacajets, I'm going to move towards the one strike squad in the runes with the objective. And I'm going to move the boys there behind that cover, give them that 4+ save. Add a little bit of sort of survivability. The other boy is going to move up towards that other objective, see what they can do there. And I'm going to move the Death Copta up for a better position. And on to the shooting phase. Going to call a wah, and what that does is it gives my Dacajets twice as many shots. So I'm going to get 18 twin link shots at that one strike squad. It means 12 hits. Gotta love twin linked. And 11 wounds. So we're going to start with the two guys in the front there. And first two make their only one save. So one's gone right away. And now we're going to roll one at a time for the remaining guys. So he keeps making save after save after save after save. Hey, he didn't make a save. So there's a second one. So now he's going to do his Lookout Sir on the Inquisitor. So do the Lookout Sir, passes. And then the Grey Knight makes a save. Inquisitor fails his Lookout Sir, but makes his save. Another Lookout Sir makes it, and the Grey Knight makes his save. Lookout Sir, and one final will pass on to the Grey Knight, and that one dies. So now on to the next Dacajet. So he's getting 18 twin link shots as well. And again, gotta love those twin links. 12 hits and 10 wounds. Sorry, 10 wounds, and then he makes 6 of those saves, but does wipe out that squad with the 4 wounds he didn't save. Next up, the boys are going to shoot into that squad, and they get 43 shots of those 11 hit and 8 wound, and then the big shooters fire as well, so they get 9 shots, 3 hits, 3 wounds. He's going to start making the saves here. So both the front two guys die, and now he's going to take the first 2 wounds on the Inquisitor normally, and he fails both of those, but he does leave him with 1, so he makes his Lookout Sir, which he fails, but makes the additional set. Now another Lookout Sir makes that, and another Grey Knight is gone. Another Lookout Sir fails that, and fails his save, so the Inquisitor is dead, so I get the slave, the Warlord point there, and the rest of the saves he makes all but 1. Now the looters are going to target the Sisters of Battle. They get 3 shots each, so it's 18 shots. Of that, 5 hit and 4 wound, and he makes all 4 saves. Next up, the boys are going to target that same sister squad. They get 10 shots, 3 hits, 2 wounds, and then the big shooter is going to fire. It gets 3 shots, 1 hit, 1 wound, and he makes all but 1 save, so 1 sister's gone there. Next up, the Grey Knight's going to make his morale check. He passes, and now the boys are going to attempt to charge that last Grey Knight. So they get snap fire shot first. He hits but fails to wound, and then I try to charge, forgetting I needed 3 dice for difficult terrain. So we threw that 1 dice in there, removing the highest. Now I had my wah, so I get to re-roll. Still was 1 inch shy, so it wasn't quite there. So we're on to Grey Knight's turn 4. So he starts off doing his faith points. He gets 3 more, and he's going to move them up towards the objective that I'm hanging around. And I'll move the sister up to make sure that she can flame. She's going to flame these boys, and gets 12 hits. Of those, 10 wound, and there's no cover save, so lost 10 boys right there, including both the big shooters, which is a bit, or all 3 of the big shooters. And next up, the sister are going to fire into the other boys' squad. They get 19 shots, 16 of those hit, and 13 wounds. Do make 7 saves, but I still lose 6 guys. And now the twin-linked heavy bolter on the Razorback is going to fire. Now, for some reason, we lost the footage, but he managed to get 1 wound on me, to which I make my save. The remaining Grey Knight in the strike squad is going to fire. Gets 2 shots, 2 hits, but fails to wound. And next up, the Storm Bolter is going to target the boys. They get 2 shots, 1 hit, and fails to wound. Where's the die? There we go, failed to wound. And now the Dreadnought's going to fire at the Ludas. He gets 4 shot, twin linked. So 4 hits, 3 wounds. And I managed to make 2 of the 3 saves. So only 1 Luda's gone there. And the boys are going to do their morale check, which they pass. Now St. Celestine's going to come in and charge. And she makes it this time. Now the boys do get to snap fire or overwatch at her. So that's 27 shots, 9 of those hit. And 8 of those wounded, plus the big shooter, which had 3 shots and 1. I rolled 2 dice, but it was 1 and 1 wound. So those 9 hits we failed to capture, but she made 7 of them, so just down to 1 wound. Now she's coming into and challenging the knob, so she'll get to attack first as she has a higher initiative. And she manages. She has 6 attacks. Of those, 4 hit, and she does 3 wounds, which will kill the knob before he has a chance to counterattack. And now the boys get to move in. And that brings us to the end of turn 4. So the 1 boy squad is in combat. The Ludas are still there. The boys are desperately hanging on to that 1 objective. They're not quite within range, but they can get there quickly. And then we've got the 2 Daka jets floating around. And that 1 lowly Deff copter waiting to do some harm. So at this point, we're going to go straight into turn 5. So the Orcs turn 5. And the boys are moving towards that objective, making sure they can do their best to hold that. The Ludas are going to moving a couple of them so they can get a better shot, or a better line of sight. Moving up the Death Copta, so he can contest if he has to. Now the first Daka jet is able to move 18 inches and still stay on the table. The second one's not able to do much, so he flies off. So now the Deff Copta is going to fire. He gets 1 hit and 1 wound, and he fails the save, so that wipes out that 1 strike squad unit. Now the Deff Copta, or the Daka jet's going to fire at the Dreadnought. He gets 9 twin link shots, 5 of those hit after the twin linking, and he gets 1 glancing shot and taking off a hull point. The Ludas are also going to fire on the Dread. Now for some reason I forgot that they moved, so I fired more shots than I should have. So I had 9 shots, 4 hits. There was a 1 glancing and 1 penetrating hit. The glancing, the penetrating hit he was able to save. The glancing went through, so removed another hull point. The boys are going to fire at the Sisters of Battle. They get 12 shots, 5 hits, 4 wounds, and he makes 2 of those saves. Or 3 of those saves, so 2 are gone. And now into Assault. The St. Celestine's going to, she gets to attack first with 5 attacks, 3 hits, 3 wounds. I don't get a save. And then the boys will pile back in, and they're going to get 24 attacks, 11 hits of there. And of that, there's 4 wounds. And he makes all but one save, but that was all it was needed. So she's down with an opportunity to come back next turn. And my follow-up, I'm going to try to rush that other objective, see if I can get in there and hold it. And we're going to see if that objective did anything, and it didn't. So on to Grey Knight's turn 5. So again, rolling for those faith points, that's what they're called, and moving the Sisters up. The Dread, or the Rhino, and the Razorback are just going to edge forward slightly. And now the twin-linked bolters are going, or heavy bolters are going to fire. They got 3 shots, 2 hits, 2 wounds, and take out 2 boys. The Rhino with the Storm Bolter is going to do the same thing. 2 shots, 1 hit, but fails to wound. Now the Dreadnought's going to fire its twin-linked autocannons at the boys. Gets 4 shots, twin-linked, and 4 hits, but only 2 wounds. But there's no save for those guys. Now the Sisters are going to fire on the other boys' squad. First with the Flamer. And I think from this angle it looks like he captures 3 of them under that template. And only manages to wound 1. So next the Bolter's going to fire. They get 15 shots. Of those 12 hit, and 5 wound. Now I only go to ground and make all my saves. And I'm also going to roll for leadership, and I pass that. So we're on to the roll for turn 6. And we'll see if the game goes on, and it doesn't. We rolled a 1, so that brings us to the end of the game. So final score, neither of us were holding any objectives, so there's no points there. I did have one, my orcs buy it, but the sisters were contesting it. For secondary objectives, we both got Kill the Warlord. He killed my war boss, I killed his Inquisitor. He did get first blood by killing that Knob Squad first, but I got Break the Line for having my Deff Copta in his deployment zone. So based on 2 points each, it's a tie game. And I'd just like to thank Nate for such a fun game. It was quite enjoyable. And also like to thank Phoenix Games in Kitchener, Ontario for letting us use their facilities and letting me film all my BatReps there. So it's muchly appreciated. So click on the link in about a week for the rules we got wrong. We used the comments from the YouTube Mini War Game everywhere where I post these videos to create the content for this. So we'll go through. If you notice anything that we did incorrect, suggestions, comments, etc., throw them in the section below. As always, if you like this, click on subscribe. It really does help with the YouTube stuff. As I say shenanigans, but it's not really shenanigans. Also, if you want to see any of our other videos, click there. And follow us on Twitter and on the blog. And if you have any questions, comment below. And thanks for watching.